looking for a new construction in coastal Delaware? Well, I've got a good one for you. I'm just a little west today of Fenwick Island and Selbyville at a new community called Channel Pointe, and I'm going to go over all the details that you would want to know with like the different model homes, the price points, the amenities, what kind of water access they're going to have here, and most importantly too, the surrounding area and things to do. So you don't want to go anywhere. So if this is your first time here, my name is Rich, your local coastal Maryland and Delaware realtor, and I get people that reach out all the time and I love it. I'm gonna put my contact information down below in the description, so don't be shy. Reach out if I can help you out in any way, whether it's a couple months or a year from now. Never too early to have a conversation. But without further ado, let's hop into the tour. Well, let's take a bird's eye view look at Channel Pointe here on the map so you get a real good idea where that sits. Of course, just a little west of Fenwick, you can kind of see on the right-hand screen. And Channel Pointe is right there in the action, right off of Route 54. And if you're familiar with it, you know, catch 54, Papa Grande's popular restaurants, right there, Walkable at the front of the neighborhood. And there is the popular townhome community right there called Fenwick Landing, not too far away. Harpoon Hannah's, but real close to town there. But this is a good outlay of Channel Pointe in the neighborhood. You can kind of see the ones in the red are sold. As I'm recording the video, it looked like they have sold about 20 homes out of the 70 total in that community. So small community, and they are selling pretty quickly there. But I wanted to take a look here and kind of to show you. Of course, the yellows are the lots that are available. Green are going to be future releases. And 67, 66 are where the model homes are going to sit. And when I was in there, which you'll see from the footage here, it looked like they had about 7 homes under construction, give or take, you know, there. But I like to cruise up here. You can kind of see where they're going to have their amenities. Up here all by itself, kind of overlooking right on the water, which is pretty cool. Have a little beach area. But they're going to have, you know, outdoor pool, fitness center, and some sports courts too there, which would be pretty cool to see that. And they are working on getting approval for like a marina for some boat slips. And of course, you know, a spot where you launch your kayak, paddleboard right there from the beach, which would be nice. So yeah, like I said, total of 70 homes. And right across here, I want to mention right here in Fenwick Island, there's right here Bayside Drive. There's a couple existing homes just so you can kind of compare a little bit. So there's one that's listed on 61 Bayside Drive that's kind of over here towards the point, and it's 1,600 square feet, listed for 2.6 million there. Of course, homes do sell for a little bit more there in town, and that one has more of an open bay view. But there's one also kind of tucked in there, more of like a canal front home that's a little bigger, 2,500 square feet, and it's listed for 2.1 million. So it's going to give you kind of a good comparison, maybe the value that Channel Pointe offers over here, because this is, you know, labeled as a luxury community. I think there's plans to actually have it gated eventually for security. You'll have some medium-sized homes to really some larger homes in here that somebody will be able to choose from, you know, and really maximize the views in this area. So let's talk a little bit more. You can see on here some of the incentives. Schell offers, you know, 24/5, you know, incentives. That's usually, they call it their platinum package. All that's kind of tagged into, you know, if you use their preferred lender and settlement attorney, which is kind of the usual case with most new build homes and communities when you look. They do cover half of your transfer taxes, which is a big deal. Not all builders do that. You know, Delaware's property taxes are very, very low compared to most states, but your transfer recordation tax is actually a total of 4%. And customary, it's usually split between, you know, 50-50 between buyer and seller on like existing home. New builds, a lot of times builders push that all the way onto the buyer, but Schell does cover half of that, which is good. So let's take a look at the model homes. So they have 9 models to choose from. You know, this community is a collaboration with the Carl M. Freeman Company. I know they've developed a lot of different communities, like the large Bayside community right down the street in Selbyville, if you're familiar with that. And you know, they have the Freeman stage. Lots of concerts, fun spot to go take a look at. And also I ran across them with, they partnered with K. Hovanian Builders in Lewis, Delaware on a community called Tower Hill. And they always come out with some nice features of the community's activities that you can do. But I really like these new models here by Schell because I haven't seen these anywhere else before. They really have that coastal kind of modern look to them. You can see 9 different models, and it includes their Echelon Signature Series, which these are usually their larger homes. You know, 3 levels, really take advantage of those views. And a lot of these will have an option to include an elevator in there too, which you may need when you're going 3 levels on some of these. But the model start anywhere from 1 million to 1.6, and Schell is like a semi-custom builder is what I kind of label them, because they have tons of options and customization that you can do with the homes, which I like. They'll use their popular floor plans and models. You can kind of go from there depending on what you want to do. But that kind of gives you an idea of what models they're offering there. We'll keep it moving here. These are some nice renderings of the community, which you'll see on the footage. A lot of building going on now. Like I said, just about 7 homes, I believe, that are under construction. But this gives a good rendering and maybe what the community is going to look like, once it's completed, through the streets and everything like that. So another great aerial photo here. We want to talk about HOA. Your HOA here is going to run $525 per month, and that's going to cover your trash pickup, recycling, lawn care, treatments, irrigation, of course all your maintenance to your common element areas inside the community there, street signs, sidewalks, streets, lights, community ponds. You can see there's going to be 3 of those, maybe 4, looks like over here. Of course all your clubhouse amenities with the pool and everything that I mentioned before, and reserves. So it's pretty reasonable HOA fee. Of course, most new communities, this can always maybe increase as they maybe get 50% built out, but it usually doesn't increase that much, with a lot of these. And property taxes, of course, Delaware, estimated $2,000 to $4,500 per year. So that is for the whole year. So super low compared to other states on the property tax side of that. So yeah, and just to summarize a little bit here, I think a lot of the pros on this community, which I like, is of course the location. You can see it's real easy to get right into Fenwick, and the Maryland line is right there too, Ocean City. So easy access to the beach. Of course, this is the setup of the community. It's going to be a smaller community, and you can really have some great water views in this one here. Some of it's going to be the skyline of Fenwick, but towards the back there, you're going to have some fantastic views there too. You can really take advantage of that. And while I'm talking on that too, let me go back up here. I want to talk about lot premiums, because that's a big deal when you're in like a waterfront community, because your lot premiums can vary a whole lot. So in here, Channel Pointe, it's going to vary from maybe no lot premium on up. I think the biggest one I've seen in here was $320,000 based on the lot that you're going to pick. And probably back here you can see these few yellow blocks here, probably some of the bigger lots. You're going to look in that $300,000 range for that particular lot. And of course, the model home that you pick out, some of them are a little bit wider, and some of them are a little bit, I guess I would say, skinnier, taller, and that'll dictate what you could put on that lot too. So you kind of want to keep that in mind when you're looking at the different homes in Channel Pointe. So just to continue on a little bit more, some of the things I like, and again, the couple restaurants, the location of it, you can easily walk to like Catch 54, Papa Grande's. Obviously, if you have a boat, maybe when they have that marina, it's going to be kind of nice that you can hop on that and kind of cruise the little Ass Woman Bay that's there. Of course, you can go through the ditch towards Harpoon Hannah's and go into the Assawoman Bay on the Maryland side, and tons of options to go to, restaurants, go fishing, whatever you may like to do there. So you don't even have to worry about driving. Speaking of that, I always like to mention maybe some of the cons that I see with the community, or something that you may expect, which you may be okay with. But of course, Route 54, you're right there, right before you kind of get into Fenwick Island. So if you've ever been in there, Route 54 gets very congested and backed up. It's a very busy street. And I'm thinking hopefully maybe they could put a stoplight there, which would really help, but I haven't heard of that yet. But kind of keep that in mind. That's really the only negative thing I can think of. Of course, you're at the beach, you're in the mix, so you're going to have deal with traffic there. But the cool thing is that if you have a boat or a bike, that might be a better option to actually go into town and use that transportation that way. So that was the full tour there, and if you had any questions, make sure that you leave those below in the comments. I always look at those, and I'll make sure that I'll get back to you on there. And I also put together a free quiz. There's going to be a link down below in the description that I put together. It's really going to help you bring clarity. So based off of your answers that you provide, it's going to offer up a few new communities that will be just right for you, based on what you're looking for and location. So make sure you check that out. Like I said, absolutely absolutely free. And make sure that you hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss any of the content that I come out with every week here on my channel. And there should be a video popping up here that's just right for you. And until next time, I'll see you soon.